Mueller's busy week offers new signs his report is coming soon. The Mueller probe appears to be in the home stretch. Some Trump aides and advisors have been making that claim for more than a year, with little basis. But the signs are several came in what was an unusually busy week for Robert Mueller's investigation into 2016 Russian election interference, with multiple clues that the special counsel's work is finishing with a final report to the Justice Department. On Wednesday, a federal judge handed a second prison sentence to Paul Manafort. That closed the door. Meanwhile, other clues emerged this week suggesting that Mueller's probe is coming to an end. On Tuesday, two key members of Mueller's team are also moving on. The FBI the signs I see are all pointing towards an investigation that is wrapping up, said Patrick Cotter, a former federal prosecutor who has worked with Weissman on organized crime cases. We are probably Cotter said he'd be surprised if Weissman were to leave before reviewing Mueller's complete findings, making his departure a sign that the report which Mueller must transmit to his Justice Department superiors is nearly complete. His knowledge, while Mueller and his Justice Department supervisors aren't saying anything official about the conclusion of the special counsel's work, Congress is getting ready for the big moment. The House this week, even if Mueller's investigation is all but complete, however, his prosecutions will continue for months. On Thursday, here's a recap of all the week's major events in the Mueller probe. Paul Manafort, the former Trump campaign chairman, finally learned how long he'll spend in federal prison nearly 7.5 years after U.S. District Court Judge Amy Berman Jackson on Wednesday the final portion of his sentence for a series of lobbying and obstruction crimes that were folded into Manafort's guilty plea last fall. Jackson agreed with U.S. District Court Judge T.S. Ellis III. Manafort's lawyers have asked that the rest of his sentence be served in Cumberland, Maryland, though that decision rests with the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Federal prosecutors also have moved to begin seeking restitution from Manafort for about $24 million tied to his crimes, which involves forfeiting several of his New York properties, plus bank accounts and a life insurance policy. He also must pay. Manafort still appears to be playing for a Trump pardon or commutation of his sentence. Outside the D.C., but any help from Trump can't protect Manafort from new charges he faces in New York, where the Manhattan District Attorney obtained a this week for residential mortgage fraud and other alleged state crimes. A presidential Roger Stone, the longtime Trump associate, got an early November trial date for allegedly misleading lawmakers about his 2016 contacts with WikiLeaks, which released thousands of emails stolen from the Democratic National Committee and Hillary Clinton's campaign aides. That means D.C. Stone's lawyers during a court hearing Thursday receiving 9 terabytes of material from the government in discovery, which they said stacks up as high as the Washington Monument twice. His lawyers also. Mueller's plans for trying Stone are unclear. Special counsel. For his part, Stone blasted out a fundraising plea Thursday night featuring a picture of him, his wife and Trump. Stone said he meets Michael Flynn, the former Trump national security advisor, continues to of U.S. District Court Judge Emmett Sullivan, who in December urged Flynn to wait until he'd exhausted all cooperation demands before agreeing to be sentenced. On Wednesday, Mueller's prosecutors in a Flynn could still be called to testify in the government's upcoming trial against his former business partner, Bijan Rafekian, on charges of failing to disclose foreign lobbying on behalf of Turkey. But the special in a separate related to the Rafekian case, defense attorneys revealed this week they'd seen FBI interview notes that suggest Flynn had helped prosecutors in several ongoing investigations. Government lawyers. Rick Gates, the former Trump campaign deputy, is with federal prosecutors in several. That was the takeaway from a filed in federal court in D.C., the fifth one of its kind since Gates pleaded guilty last February to financial fraud and lying to investigators. It's unclear whether Gates' ongoing cooperation still involves the Mueller probe. But Friday's file, another joint status report for Gates, is due in court by May 14. Josh Gerstein contributed to this report.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park, pot.